60s and 70s is some of the last stuff to be declassified. And the last time we got any of this was in the 70s, and that was MK Ultra and MK Naomi and Artichoke before that. And it's the government creating syphilis, weaponized, putting it in text and releasing it on you and on the Cubans. But anything they do to others, they do to us. Criminal elements in the government. And then putting LSD on the campuses, creating the counterculture, creating ugly architecture that demoralizes, creating the LGBT movement and pushing it. I mean, there's been a lot came out. Assassination of citizens, you name it. But now, most of MK Ultra never got declassified. And of course, there's a lot more stuff going on, but this is what we know about. Well, Trump ordered it declassified. Gabbard was getting ready to. They raided her. She said, well, they didn't really raid it, but they said we shouldn't have given you that. And they came and grabbed it from her offices. Remember a month or so ago, 5 weeks ago. And then they were going to have hearings that Anna Paulina Luna, has a lot of courage, was putting on. Those got canceled for national security issues. But now, starting this morning at like 9 a.m. Eastern, and they're in the middle of it now, I think they're adjourned for late lunch, this is going on. So, a lot of amazing clips. Let's go to MK Ultra hearing, Dr. Kinzer opening statement. And boy, it is all over the place. You've got in documents Jack Ruby, who we knew, was CIA, killing Lee Harvey Oswald was CIA, Charles Manson, CIA, which we always knew, but there it is. MK Ultra minority witnesses defend Fauci. Which is a modern MK Ultra. Tom O'Neill, journalist, asked questions about MK Ultra. It was ignored. Anna Paulina Luna on CIA Nazis in Nuremberg, locating victims. We brought up a bunch of the Nazis over to help set up the new CIA. MK Ultra, Anna Paulina opening statement. Let's play Anna Paulina Luna's opening statement, clip B. Then let's play clip C, Dr. Kinzer, who's helping bring all this forward. And then we'll look at more of the clips and then more that are coming in. Obviously, we'll digest this. Harrison Smith's coming in. He's going to be really focused on this coverage. I'm tempted to come in here on a Saturday and air 6-7 hours of the whole thing and just stop and start it and go. This is confirming. Everybody's like, oh, you always said Ruby was CIA. Rubowitz. You always said that Charlie Manson was CIA. Yeah, we knew that. But now here it is in the documents. Who else was CIA? The Unabomber. Who was the doctor for Sirhan, RFK Jr.'s dad's killer, or supposed killer, we know really did it, the Skunk Works guy behind him? Who was the doctor to Lee Harvey Oswald's killer, Jack Ruby, same MK Ultra doctor, Jolly and West? Who was the doctor to Tim McVeigh, Jolly and West? And he goes, he was like to most of the killers, most of the lone wolves. He was the deputy head of MK Ultra under Dr. Ewan Cameron. So a lot of this is already out from the 70s. Now even more is out. But see, because Congress is allowed to get it, even if the CIA tries to block it. So we're being spoon-fed this by them. But Congress is now saying they're going to publish this into the record. I can't wait to see it. But boy, are we not right again? You're like, we already know all this. Well, see what I told you. And that's where we are. So let's go ahead and go to these opening statements. Here they are. Anna Paulina Luna.
This hearing is about the crimes committed by the Central Intelligence Agency against the American citizens and the decades of secrecy used to conceal them. The American people deserve a complete and truthful record. The victims and their families deserve acknowledgement, and this Congress has a constitutional obligation to ensure that full declassification is not delayed any longer. Project MKUltra was not a policy failure or an overzealous program that got out of hand. It was a deliberate, systematic governmental operation that subjected American citizens, prisoners, hospital patients, veterans, ordinary people to LSD, electroshock, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, psychological torture without their knowledge or consent. This went on for 20 years on American soil, funded by American taxpayer dollars and authorized by the very top of U.S. intelligence apparatus. And this program, when it did end, the men who ran it did not cooperate with investigators. They did not come forward. They committed another crime. They destroyed evidence. The documents this task force has reviewed are unambiguous. In January 1973, the director of the CIA, Richard Helms, prepared to leave office. He personally ordered the destruction of MKUltra records. The CIA official document in writing states, over my stated objectives, the MKUltra files were destroyed by the order of DCI Mr. Helms shortly before his departure from office. A separate internal account confirms that Helms telephoned Dr. Gottlieb directly and instructed him to destroy, quote, all files pertaining to drug research and associated activities. Gottlieb compiled 4 people, spent an entire day burning down 152 files. Then Gottlieb had his personal papers destroyed by his secretary before he retired. The head of the CIA-owned records center protested the destruction in writing, but he was overruled. That is obstruction of justice. That is criminal destruction of federal records, and neither individuals were ever charged with a crime for it. Helms received a $2,000 fine for lying to Congress about an unrelated matter and collected his government pension until he died. Gottlieb retired in rural Virginia and wrote poetry. No one went to prison. No victim was ever formally compensated by the government for the harm that they caused. By 1975, the Church Committee and the Rockefeller Commission had already established through sworn testimony and the surviving 1963 Inspector General report that MKUltra existed and that the CIA had run a program of human experimentation on unwitting Americans. The scope and detail of what we know today is largely because of an accident. In 1977, an archivist diligently complying with a FOIA request discovered 7 boxes of MKUltra financial records that had been misfiled and escaped the bonfire. Those 7 boxes included the names of institutions, the name of subprojects, the researchers who participated, the specific operation that the CIA had funded, and without them, the vast majority of MKUltra would only be a rumor, just as Helms and Gottlieb intended. Those 7 boxes revealed that MKUltra comprised at least 149 subprojects, operated across more than 80 institutions, and involved 185 non-government researchers. They revealed that the CIA covertly contributed $375,000 to a hospital research wing, which was approved directly by DCI Alan Dulles, which Richard Helms concurrence, so the agency could use unwitting patients as experimental subjects in what their own documents called a hospital safe house. The CIA-owned Inspector General said in 1963 his classified report concluded that the program had exceeded the agency's legal chapter and covert testing on unwitting subjects placed the rights and interests of U.S. citizens in jeopardy. The program ran for a decade that we know of, and they ignored their own watchdog. Let me be clear what I believe that we are dealing with here. Administering drugs to people without their knowledge or consent, subjecting humans to psychological torture, and using prisoners and hospital patients as non-consenting research subjects. These are crimes against humanity. The Central Intelligence Agency committed them, and then the director of the CIA was ordering the destruction of evidence. Today we will hear from 2 witnesses who have spent years unraveling the cover-up that our government ordered. Stephen Kinzer documented the life and crimes of Sidney Gottlieb in his book, Prisoner of Chief, and Tom O'Neill spent over 20 years investigating what the CIA buried and what they obscured that, in my mind, constitute some of the worst notorious crimes against humanity in the 20th century. Their persistence in the research in this hearing is possible simply because they are patriots. The American people deserve the complete record. The victims and their families deserve acknowledgement, accountability, and justice. And this Congress has a constitutional obligation to make sure that the CIA never does this again. With that, I'm going to be opening up first questions, and I'll hold my questions to the end.
All right, let's stop right there. I'm going to go to more of this in the real meat and potatoes coming up, and I want to get her opening statement because she's really been pushing this.